So, even though I made a video previously talking about will Bun's day fall off and me saying no, there were a lot of people who kind of misinterpreted me, which I don't blame because I didn't exactly fully explain it. But when I said will Sunday fall off, I probably meant like in the near future. Like I'm talking the 3.x patches. Will he fall off within the 3.x patches? Not if he'll like fall off never, right? Like let's be honest, this is Honkai Star Rail. Characters are going to fall off no matter what. Even limited harmonies aren't safe, as more powerful limited harmonies will likely end up releasing in the future. More best in slot made for the new comps that are more meta. So, I understand that. Don't worry, I'm not completely stupid. I should have just clarified it just a little more so people understood my point more. However, I wanted to go over why I want Sunday and why I think you should go for Sunday. Now, I'll quickly go over my personal opinion and why I'm pulling for him. So, I originally was going to go for Fugue. However, Fugue ended up being more underwhelming than I expected, and Sunday ended up being significantly stronger than I expected, to the point where he's even a best in slot on one break team, being Boot Hill. He replaces Bronya on a Boot Hill team, meaning you can very perfectly run like a hyper carry Boot Hill, Ruan Mei, Trailblazer, and Sunday team, and that covers one of the comps that I want on my account, which is Break, because Boot Hill is really, really good in APOC Shadow, and for certain like enemies in MOC that are like single target or there aren't that many enemies on field, he's also very, very strong there. So I decided, instead of going for Fugue and Firefly, I'd go for Sunday and Boot Hill, because this would also give me the option to then put Sunday on a future different team and put Bronya just back on the Boot Hill team, right? Because I can always just put Bronya back on the Boot Hill team, as I'm not using her on any other team at all. I have an Acheron team and I have a Fei Xiao team. I have Robin, so I just don't need Bronya. You get it, right? So I decided to go for Sunday, and I'm going to be honest, I think Sunday is the only person you should pull this patch. Now, that might sound blasphemous because this means I'm talking about people even with break teams. However, I think even if you do have a break team, it's already strong enough and already performing well enough that I personally think just go all in for Sunday. Now, the reason I'm saying this is we have meta ratings given to us by the leakers for a few of the future characters. For example, Acheron tier is around A to A+, which is what Herda is actually rated at. Aglaia was given a B. I don't know why. Maybe she actually is that ass whenever she ends up releasing. We'll have to see. However, I'll cut to the chase. The character who was given the highest meta rating possible was Casterus, and she was given an S+, right? That is 2 tiers above an Acheron tier unit, being Herda, meaning she'll likely have like an Acheron effect where she's significantly stronger than any of the previous DPSs in the game. Meaning, going for Sunday currently could be a huge investment. Now, you may be saying, oh, but I could just get Sunday on a rerun. No, I'm saying this because I think a lot of people should try to target E1S1 Sunday. Now, that is very expensive. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying this as a low spender who can barely even manage to get Sunday in the next patch. I have to win the 50-50 if I want to fully guarantee being able to get him in the next patch. And if I win the 50-50, I'm then obviously going to try and get the light cone. However, the reason I'm saying this is both his E1 and his S1 are just absolutely disgusting. Like, I don't understand what type of crack MiHoYo was on when they were testing this guy, but oh my god, the buffs Fugue should have gotten are what Sunday got. This man's light cone is out of this world broken. He goes from SP neutral to SP negative to fully SP positive just by getting his light cone. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but this means you can now permanently spam his skill no matter what and be SP positive even more so than Sparkle in some situations, which is fucking huge. Like, Sparkle's main selling point is the fact that she gives skill points on her ult, making her, I believe, 1 SP positive in total. However, Sunday does the exact same fucking thing, if not better, with his light cone. Like, that is insane. The man is able to constantly spam his skill on you, no matter what, every turn, and still generate extra skill points. That is just gross. Now, on top of this, this man is just hands down the strongest hyper carry support in the entirety of the game. He is the strongest limited harmony hyper carry support in the game, and it's not close. Literally, for almost every single comp in the game, you replace Bronya or Sparkle to have him on your team. It's just not close in the slightest. And then we get into the E1. Now, this is why I'm really saying to go all in for him. I do believe that likely either Casterus or My Day, or even both, will end up being Remembrance. And the reason this is so huge is the fact that if Casterus ends up being Remembrance, this will be the most broken combo in the entirety of the game. For those of you who are unaware, Sunday's E1, when he uses his skill on a character with a summon, they get 40% defense down, okay? 40. Ruan Mei's E1 only gives 20. And that is when her ult is up. When her ult is gone and the turns are gone, you no longer get this bonus E1. But with Sunday, all you have to do is constantly spam the skill on the character with a summon, and they'll have this 40% defense down up literally the entire fucking time. So with his light cone, he becomes skill point positive. And overall, he is the strongest hyper carry support in the entirety of the game. And then you get the extra damage bonus that's inside his kit, which only activates for summoning users. And with his E1, 40 fucking percent defense down. It doesn't get more disgusting than this. This is probably the most broken E1 S1 combo for any character in the entirety of the game. I don't even think it's close. I think the only one that comes close is maybe Lingsha. Lingsha has a very, very strong E1, and I'm not exactly... I don't remember how strong her S1 is, but I know her E1 is very, very disgusting, because I think it gives like a 50% weakness break efficiency increase. However, this is easily the strongest E1 S1 combo in the entirety of the game, because even without a summoning DPS, instead of 40% defense down, it's 16%. And once again, so long as you have the light cone, that's going to be active the entire time, since you're always going to be spamming your skill. So once again, extremely broken E1, even without having a summoning DPS. It's just with a summoning DPS, it becomes way more broken. So if Casterus ends up being a summoning DPS, even if she isn't exactly Remembrance, then guys, oh my god, please go for his E1. Now, personally, what I'd recommend currently, go for Sunday and his light cone on the current banner, and then wait for his rerun, which should be around 3.2 or 3.3, which is also, I think, around when Casterus should release, and then decide if you should go for his E1 if he fits on one of their teams. Now, the reason I'm saying this is, if you go for Sunday's E1 over his S1, you're no longer going to be skill point positive, meaning you're not going to be able to spam his skill constantly every single turn, meaning you lose some comfortability there, and obviously some downtime on the skill, which will also maybe take you longer to get the ult. So overall, it's just more inefficient. However, with his light cone, because he becomes skill point positive, you can keep that skill up non-stop, no matter what. And in the future, on a rerun, if you grab his E1, that'll allow you to have 16% defense down all the time, or 40% defense down all the time, depending on who you're running as your main DPS on your team. So I do think he's just a must-have in my opinion. He fits in a Boot Hill team. He is the strongest hyper carry support, so he'll fit very nicely in an E2 or higher Acheron team. I mean, he fits perfectly in a Dill team, of course, as well. Like, you just can't go wrong with this man. He is extremely universal, extremely strong. However, we haven't even taken full advantage of him yet. The only character who could take advantage of him is Jing Yuan, and Jing Yuan is ass, bottom of the barrel, fucking scraping for food tier, okay? And even then, Sunday skyrockets his performance anyways, because he's that broken, especially if you get his E1 S1. So, once again, in my opinion, you should not pull for Fugue. However, this is just from a meta standpoint, right? If you don't care about meta and you just really want the character, or you just really want to boost your break team and not listen to me, bro, go ahead for it, honestly, right? Like, I'm not going to hate you or get mad at you or anything like that. I just think that investing in Sunday currently, and then later on in a future patch investing in his Eidolon, is probably a very, very worthwhile investment, as the majority of characters we're going to be getting now in the 3.x patches are luckily going to be summon based. So yeah, there's a video for you guys. Just an idea I came up with and why I think you should invest in Sunday so hard. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.